All right, we're having some fun today, switching it up.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean just today? We always have fun, right?
Okay, you make some good points. We're just being a little more lighthearted, a little more casual, not like a set fitness topic, but you had the great idea of doing like a bunch of would you rather questions, but kind of putting our spin on it. So I feel like it'd be fun. Probably, of course, a little more fitness based, but I think it'd be good to just kind of go through and answer some fun questions and see what comes up. We haven't really like looked, at least I haven't really looked through them and like thought much about them, so I'm gonna be doing it on the spot, which will be fun.
Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. My girls used to love Would You Rathers. And of course, it was something like, would you rather live in a small house overlooking the ocean or a mansion, in the middle of the forest? It's kind of that kind of fun stuff. We're not going to quite go in that direction, but it's going to be fun. I think what you'll enjoy.
Yeah, and one thing I want to touch on too before is if you guys get value out of these episodes, would love for you to share it with a friend, share it online, whatever is applicable. I think we're really going hard on helping this podcast grow. We're going to put a lot of time and energy into it this year, especially, and we have, of course, in the last year, but anyone that can benefit from it, please share. It helps us a ton, helps get it out there. So we appreciate you guys.
Yes, we do.
What do you got going on this week? Anything top of mind? I know you said you had a dream last night that you wanted to share.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if I want to share it or not. It's kind of like one of those like nightmare, not really nightmare like type of things. Like I woke up, I was like, "Woo! I'm glad that was not real." Okay, it was dreams can be so weird. And I know like there's some people think there's so much meaning to them. Some people think they're just fluff, or whatever, or sometimes just like whatever you're thinking about before you went to bed. I really have no idea where this thing came from, and I rarely remember them. Like I'll wake up sometimes like, oh, I think I had a dream. Can't remember anything about it. And for whatever reason, I woke up and I thought I remembered a lot of it, and then you tell people, then all of a sudden I think you start remembering it better. And so I haven't told my kids today in class. I thought it was kind of funny. But anyway, so the dream, the only parts I remember is I'm standing in this like restaurant, type area, and it was like three levels, but it was like you could see all the way up. It was really open and kind of dark, and everyone was looking around, and there was someone talking, and couldn't even hear what they were saying. And then someone like that was kind of like a host or event host or something like that came on and said, "All right, thank you for blah blah blah." And I said, "All right, next is Lawrence Brown is going to put on a comedy routine." And I was like, "What? What?" Well, and then I remember him asking me earlier in the week, "Do you want to do this?" And I said, "Yeah, sure," because I thought I was joking about it. And then here I am, and so I was like, "Okay, this is not going to be good because I have zero things prepared." And I'm not really that funny of a guy to begin with, so I have no idea where I'm going to go with this. And so I'm like walking up there and I'm trying to think what I could do. And I get up there and I'm like, this is pretty ironic because I'm not even that funny of a guy and I'm doing a comedy routine. And it was like crickets. Like no one like even smiled and they're just like staring at me. And I was like, maybe I can pull up some like dad jokes on my phone or something. And so I was like, but for some reason I was like stuck. Like I couldn't do it. Like it was just like frozen. And I was just like getting worse and worse like every minute that I was standing there. And I was like, for some reason, I'm not a big sweater. Like if I run a lot, I'll sweat. But other than that, like I don't sweat much. But some reason I have like a little hand towel. And so for my sweat, and I was sweating. I was like wiping it off and everything. And then I was like, I got an idea. I'll tell a story about something that happened in my classroom. One of the really funny stories one of my kids said. And then I was like, but I don't know, which story should I tell? What would they be amused by? And this, in my head, this is going on for like on and on, like, 10, 20 minutes or whatever. And I haven't told a single joke. Like I'm supposed to be like, making people laugh. And then I started thinking about this, the buffalo wing story. And I was like, I could tell a buffalo wing story. Everyone loves buffalo wing story. But I couldn't remember the story. And I was like fumbling on. I said and like 18,000 times. So the yeah, and it was just like I was just like frozen. I couldn't speak, and I couldn't think of the story, and it was coming out, rambling it, and it's one of those things too. Like I felt like everyone was watching me, but I don't think anyone was actually caring at all, really. And then I woke up, and I was like, oh man, thank goodness that was just a dream because I was ready to run out of that place because it was the worst experience ever.
Yeah, that sounds like my nightmare for sure.
Bizarre though. Like I don't know where any of that came from.
I know. Maybe it's trying to forecast the future for you, maybe? It's some sort of gig, some sort of comedy gig.
Let's hope not, because that'll be the worst thing ever. I mean, I think I probably could have come up with a few things that might be funny if I prepared, but there's no way. Like comedians, that's like a whole nother breed. Like it's just there's no way I could stand up there and do what they do. So it's yeah, I don't know. So weird.
Well, glad it was just a dream.
Yes, yes, thank goodness. What about yourself? Anything going on with you?
Nah, I'm just kind of going through it this week. Just a
Yeah.
low morale week.
What is that? What kind of week?
Low morale.
Oh, low morale. Anything in particular, or just
More just like business stuff. I feel like usually when it rains, it pours. I feel like everything's just going wrong, just nonstop. I'm like, and I woke. It was happened last week too, and then I woke up this week. I'm like, it's gonna be a great week. You got this. And it's just the same shit. So I'm like, oh, it's whatever.
hey, but if if it's low, I mean, there's only one way to go, right? So it's got to go back up.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I'm chilling. I've been doing so good with reducing my stress and just being in like sticking to my routines and everything, all my goals for this year. So like stress has been low on it. I can just feel myself in that negative headspace where I don't like, and I'm so aware of it. I'm like, why am I thinking like this? Why am I just, I don't know, like just in a kind of a slump. But yeah, it's fine. We're chilling. We'll get out of it.
Snap out of it quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, I think not too much. I'm taking this whole week off of training actually, which is
Really?
nice. Yeah, well, because my body is still just not recovering. Just the fatigue is back, so still working through that, getting a bunch of tests done. But my coach is like, "You get to take a week off." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Hopefully, this is the one time I'm actually not mad about it, and it's been nice because I've been able to have more time for other things, and just I think that's helped with my stress and being able to just like get all of my work done and stuff. So it's kind of been nice.
Yeah. Well, that was my next question was going to be, were you like really happy about it, like actually like excited, or was it kind of like like this is going to add more stress now that I can't work out?
I know usually it would be the latter and I'd be like itching to do stuff, but no, because my body's been so wrecked and I've just been so stressed and overwhelmed and like trying to manage everything. I'm like, this is actually really nice. I needed some time off to focus on other things.
Good, good.
Yeah, that's growth and progress and being able to take time off without stressing.
For you, that is a lot of growth and progress right there for sure. Big wins.
Yep. Any other updates with you?
No, no, nothing really. It's funny. There was a chance of snow tonight into the morning, and so of course, like when you get any kind of chance, like if someone mentions it on some weather report, all the teachers, of course, go crazy, and they're like, "What's going to happen? We get to that," and the kids get all amped up, and then everyone gets their hopes up, and then I don't think it's actually going to do anything tonight. So tomorrow's everyone's kind of probably come in all bummed and
Right.
hoping for an extra day off, but it's not going to happen. So just
Dang.
cold and wet. Bleh.
Yo, it's gonna be 37 on Friday here.
Well, that's like what it is right now here. So
Okay, but I didn't sign up for this. This is absurd. This is not okay.
I know that's a high or low.
That's the low.
Okay, well, that's better, but still, that's ridiculously cold.
I'm supposed to play volleyball that day too, so I'm gonna be
Um,
like the Michelin man, like 5 layers just trying to play volleyball.
well, that's the worst too. I would play like flag football and softball and stuff like that, and I mean, you go out there and you're freezing, so like you want to get bundled up, but then once you start running around, you get super hot. So it's almost like you just suffer in the beginning, just freeze for a few minutes until you start running around, then you're fine, or do you get there warm and feel good, and then you're just like overwhelmed during the day or during the game that you're so hot. There's no win there.
Yeah, it's tough. We were playing yesterday, and it was still cold for our standards. Not definitely not that cold, but like it took me a full game to get warmed up, and then you have to like sit, and so then you cool off again. So I was like, I just like could not get warm, and like it hurts too. And the ball's hitting you if your body's cold, and then it's tough if you're wearing a bunch of layers. Like I will have to because it absorbs the impact. So it's just there's a lot of complexity, but got to do it.
That'll be a time. Yeah, you'll still have fun. That'll definitely be. I mean, and who knows when the next time you have to play like that. So you gotta take advantage, right? It'll be an experience. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. Those are the ones you remember. You don't remember all the normal days of playing volleyball, but you remember when you're out there. I remember the days where it's like pouring rain, we're out playing, so it's good memories.
I don't know about good, but they're definitely memories.
Fair point. Well, sweet. Should we get into some would you rather questions?
Yeah, let's get in. I mean, we put a couple in there that are just kind of like, hey, just for fun talk. But then we got some that I think take a little more thought.
All right, first one we got morning workouts or night workouts?
All right, you mean answer first? Mine would definitely be morning workouts. And especially if you're talking about night, like it's dark out, like past dinner time, stuff like that. I mean, it's been rare that I've actually worked out that late. There has been a few times in my life, but yeah, I absolutely love morning workouts. So pretty much any time of the day, if I had to pick, it'd be a morning workout. I just feel, I mean, like, I don't know, I love the morning in general, but so if I can add working out to it, it's just like, I'm just like, you know, stoked for the rest of the day. I love it. What about yourself?
Oh yeah, same for sure. Morning. Like I've been doing some afternoon ones, but yeah, morning all the way. Like that's what I've been doing most of my life. I feel like it's just the best to set yourself up for success for the day.
Yeah, and I mean that's really a personal preference, but I do feel like if you don't have the perfect schedule, it is much easier if it to try to schedule your workouts in the morning.
Hmm.
All right, next one: music in the car or silence.
First, I mean, I do both, to be fair. It depends on how I'm feeling. If I want to like think through stuff, I'll do nothing. And just if I got stuff to focus on. But usually it'll be music or a podcast. Usually music though.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like there has been times where if I'm praying in the car, of course I don't have anything on,
Yeah.
but just like complete silence where I'm sitting there and just kind of going through my thoughts or not even thinking. I've done that before, but sometimes I start out like that. I'm like, all right, I got to put something on. I think it's more so just not that I have to have it. I just enjoy it. And so, yeah, it will be music. And nowadays it's more so podcasts and music if I'm by myself. My girls don't love the podcast. So of course I turn on the music when they're in there, but, yeah, I'll have some kind of music or a podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Would you rather never doubt yourself again or never overthink again?
This one's a tough one. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've had problems with both.
Same.
Doubting myself as well as overthinking. Yeah. I, I think I would go. I think I would go with never doubt yourself again. I think I would go
Mm,
with having because to me I equate that with having a lot of confidence,
mm,
not arrogance, but having confidence, like confident in who you are, your abilities, your values, all that kind of stuff. And I think there's can be some value in overthinking,
mhm.
and but so yeah, I would definitely want to never doubt myself again and just be like, I'm all Lawrence all the way, 100%. Let's do this. Don't doubt yourself ever again, kind of thing.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I would say the same just because I kind of like I was thinking the same thing. It's like there is some value in overthinking may not be the right word, but it's like being able to like think through all the scenarios and process stuff. And I feel like that's easier to overcome, or at least for me, it's easier to overcome and catch myself and be like, okay, this is a reality, as opposed to if you're doubting yourself, I feel like it goes a lot deeper and it subconsciously will affect a lot of the ways that you're showing up and operating and everything else. So I feel like that affects more and is like deeper rooted and more negatively impacts a lot as opposed to overthinking, whereas like I can easily catch that.
I agreed. Yeah, 100%. All right. Would you rather be disciplined or spontaneous?
I mean, I think everyone knows my answer. I mean, generally, I'm just very disciplined. I prefer to lean to that way, although I've worked to become a lot more spontaneous and go with the flow, but definitely I'm disciplined all the way.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would ever say I'm spontaneous. It's definitely the discipline 100% all the way.
What's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
Well, I mean, I've done some like crazy things. Like, I mean, when I went to school in New York, to play baseball, I mean, I did not think about that at all. I was like, if I get offered a scholarship there, I'm going.
Mm.
And got the phone call and said, I'm going.
Mhm. Oh
It
yeah.
was like little to no thought other than I just love playing baseball.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that was a huge thing off the top of my head.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty solid.
I'll do some crazy stuff. I'll do some like really big things or like that. People are like, there's no way. I don't know how you did that. But then like little things, like, I'm out. It's like it's weird. Like
Mhm.
kind of extremes, I could be more spontaneous with. But then like little things, I'm trying to think of something. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But if it was just a little thing being spontaneous, I'm probably like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, like anything getting out of the normal routine, you're just like,
Yeah,
eh.
maybe that's what it is. If it's getting out of my normal structure routine, then probably not. But if it's just like some completely different, then I'm all right. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, let's do one more. Then we'll get something a little bit deeper. All right. Would you rather never eat? I almost said desert. Would you rather never eat dessert again or never eat bread again?
Mm, probably never eat bread again because I like sourdough is awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love my sourdough in the morning. That's like the best part with my eggs every day. But also, dessert is very important.
Right, and it depends like what you put in the category. Right? Like if you
Yeah.
consider like a creamy a dessert,
Yeah.
which I wouldn't, but if you would, then they're like, all right, that's a big difference. Bread. I mean, the problem. I mean, I agree. Everyone's like bread is so good. It is like bread is delicious, and there's so many different types of bread that's so good. And then there's not just like there's different types of bread. Like if you're like, okay, I don't want bread, but I love my cinnamon roll. Well, I mean, that's bread, right? Technically, I mean, so
Like
it's
that's
like,
also a dessert too.
yeah. So like, where do you go with that? So that would be, I don't know, that'd be a tough one. I'm not a huge dessert guy, even though I love dessert. I just, I'm a little more disciplined with that, but I don't know. I don't know. That'd be tough. Probably dessert, I guess, for me. I like
Okay.
bread. All right, let's get into some that might take a little more thought. All right, the first one. We'll just do a couple here, but all right. So, would you rather know the exact day that you'll die and plan your life around that, or live in uncertainty but with no control over your health outcomes?
I really like this one. For me, I feel like I would much rather not know and have the uncertainty. Like that's an easy answer for me, but because I feel like I would just stress. I don't know. I could see pros for both, of course, but like I feel like I would just be so stressed about like knowing whatever day it is and like trying to plan and structure everything too much as opposed to just living life freely. So yeah, I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, so because it's kind of like how much is the freedom worth,
Mm,
right? Like the freedom of uncertainty, kind of like we were saying, versus complete control.
hmm.
And this might, I mean, I think we've agreed on the other ones. This one, I'm going the other way. All right.
Really?
Yeah, like I think I would want to know the exact day,
Mm,
and maybe that goes into my personality of being structured and disciplined and wanting to have certain levels of control, because I feel like if I knew that day, then I could totally plan the rest of my life around it.
that's true.
And it's like there's no guessing, no thinking. It's like, okay, I have this amount of time. These are the things I want to do. These are people want to do things, whatever it may be. And then yeah, my day-to-day decisions are like I have that end goal in mind. I guess another way to think about it is like if you have a goal of like, okay, I want to lose weight, but then you have no idea how to lose weight. Like you don't have any plans for it in the middle. Like it's really hard. Like it's just tough to get to that point. You always have it like hanging out there. Like I want to lose weight, but I really can't get there. It's kind of like thing. We're all gonna die, right?
Hmm.
And so if I don't have any plans and it's kind of like it's just hanging out there, should I be a little more spontaneous or should I not? Like you could argue all these different things and think about all it, but if I knew the exact date, I'm like, well, I know exactly what I'm going to do right now. I want to
Hmm.
know exactly what I could do, or at least I could put all that thought process into it and figure it out, almost like I can map it all out the rest of my life.
Hmm. No, I definitely see, like I see a ton of value in that. Like I think it'd be especially if you know like whether it's sooner or later, it's like it would change so much of your day to day. Like you may just be like, oh, I'm not going to work again. Like I just need to go and travel. I need to like pour into my family or just spend this quality time. Like I feel like it could provide so much insight and just completely change the way that you operate. So yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think just for me, I would be like just so like stressed and caught up in that it would take away from everything. I'd just be thinking about that. I just know myself, so I'd rather just like not know and try to live like I also try to have that mentality alive. Like I do think about death a lot in the sense of like I want to make sure that I'm not leaving anything on the table or that like I'm living the life that I want day to day. Obviously, it would look very different if I knew there was an end date in mind, but like trying to align as much as I can already so that way I don't feel like I'm missing out or anything like that. But I don't know. It's a tough one.
I think it might. I think it might depend on what your views on death are as well.
Mm,
You know, if you're someone that, and there's of course there's a whole spectrum, but if you're someone on the extreme of like you are just you almost have a fear of dying, like you are so afraid of dying, like you don't want to think about it, you don't want to talk about it, you know, it bothers you to no end. Then knowing that day, like you said, would probably stress you out the rest of your life because you know it's coming, and it's like this is coming. One more day, or one less day you have, one less day you have, you know, type of thing. As opposed to if you're on the other extreme, like, hey, you know what, I'm going to die someday. You know, I'm looking forward to going to heaven. You know what's going to happen, and you're totally good with it.
mhm.
Then you're like, okay, I'm going to die on this day. Then let's make it the best of it until that day. And then when the day comes, awesome. I'll look forward to seeing God and tell them these are the things I want to do to get there.
Mhm. Yeah. What do you think your day-to-day would like how would that change your day-to-day knowing whatever the date is? How do you see things changing or the way that you operate changing?
Well, I think it depends on how long I had.
Yeah.
The longer I had, it would be more similar to a normal life. So I still need to make money. I still need, you know, but if it's super short, then I'd be like, "Pfft, forget anything that I don't have any kind of purpose in,
Mhm.
and let's find some more things to make my life more purposeful and more meaningful.
I feel like this is a good reflection too. Like I don't know, this just gets me thinking. It's like I think it'd be cool to reflect. I feel like it'd be valuable for a lot of people to reflect on. It's like if you did know the end date and it was soon, it's like what would you change and then try to change as much as you can now. Obviously, it's like it's going to be very dramatic if that was the actual case, but like what can you change now in your day-to-day life to be more aligned with that, knowing that you only had that much time left?
Yeah.
Because like why wait? You know, so I feel like that's kind of a good check and just like figuring out your ideal day or just like what you want to accomplish in your life or you know how you want to feel and like pursue that like as much as you can now in the moment.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Next one, would you rather be extremely fit but constantly feel tired and stressed or average fitness but have boundless energy and mental clarity?
All right, so this one makes me think of a lot of influencers. I think fitness
Mhm.
influencers in the world because you'll get on you can a million different people out there that are just extremely ripped. They look amazing, but if you actually talk to them or you talk to them like 5 years from now or 10 years from there, and you can talk to all kinds of people who were that at one time, and they're like, man, like I looked great, but I felt awful because it was like nonstop, constantly. Like I couldn't eat this or I couldn't do that, and I had to, there's a certain level that I had to keep up to, and I was just worn out and I was stressed out about it, and they weren't that happy, But at the same time, it's like I totally get the desire and need to, or want to have that, that level of fitness and to be able to look at yourself and feel really confident about that. Uh, Gosh, that's a tough one because the I don't know what's the word I want to use. The shallow aesthetic side of me was like, man, I love when I look at it as the best I possibly can. I just feel so much better confidence wise, and I just like that so much better. I've been able to get to a good point where I don't feel tired and stressed all the time. But it does add different type of stressors. It is more difficult to have to constantly watch what you're eating and make sure you get all your workouts and do everything to a certain level. So to be like average fitness to me, it's like, oh man, that'd be really hard on my ego. That'd be really hard on my confidence. And so if like probably if a therapist was talking to me about this, they're like, it'd probably actually be a good thing for you to be at average fitness for a while. And so this is a tough one. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd much rather be average fitness and have more of the energy and mental clarity just because I feel like I've been on the side of tired and stressed and just going through all these health issues and fatigue and everything I've experienced. And like, there's nothing worse than that. And I've also been on the side, especially now that I'm sleeping good. It's like when you know what it's like to have that energy and mental clarity, like that's more important. That's going to allow you to have a lot more confidence showing up at work and leading people. Whatever you need to do, you're going to be showing up so much better as opposed to being stressed and tired all the time. Like it's just it sucks to feel that way. And so also, I mean, to be honest, I feel like I'm already at average fitness. So I'm like,
No.
but no, I definitely get what you're saying of like when you have high standards for yourself, like it'd be tough, like just having to accept being in that average state, especially with, like you and I, like we're people like we want to be the best of the best. We want to uphold that high standard. So I could get where that could be a hit, especially just ego wise, especially because you have an extremely fit physique now. It's like you're at that high level, so it'd be tough to like lose that.
Yeah, now that we're talking about thinking about it, I think the big thing for me is the stress part.
Mm,
There is such a big difference in life when you're at peace with things as opposed to when you're just so stressed out about different things. It just changes your whole outlook. It changes the way you respond to people, or how you respond to anything in life, and just how you feel every day. So, just based on that, I would probably have to go with the average fitness side and have just energy and mental clarity if it included was stress free,
mm-hmm.
or being still, or being at peace with where you're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know stillness is your goal, so I feel like being aligned with that would help a ton. But
Yes, it would. It would. It would for sure.
yeah, and from being in that stress state, like I think that's how I was operating the last few years. It is a miserable existence. Like it's just not a good place to be in. Even if you look good physically, it's like what's the point if you feel like shit mentally, internally?
Yeah, and I think where you are in your life too. I think you could get away with that, and a lot of times these people that we're mentioning they're really young. They're single, they don't have kids, stuff like that, and so it's a lot easier because they can deal with. They're only affecting themselves, because once you have to affect his family, and the more you have that are people that are depend on you, and the more responsibilities have, then you almost have to start going much more towards the part of, hey, I need to have good energy. I need to be in a good mood. I need to have mental clarity. I need to be not stressed out. If not for yourself, for all those people that are depending on you.
Hmm. All right, next one. Would you rather live in a society where your body's always optimized for health, but personal freedom is gone? Or a free society where poor health is common? Kind of sounds like what we live in now.
It's definitely more so like we live in now. Yeah, we're the free society where poor health is common. I kind of took it to extreme when I was thinking about this question, and thought about what if, and I like to like create like a movie, almost like a trailer in my mind. But I was thinking, what if like the pharmaceutical world was like in complete control, like they're in charge of everything, and everyone was required by law to take certain medicines, certain shots, certain vaccines, all this kind of stuff, and they created this like super healthy society, but you were completely controlled by the pharmaceutical world, and everything you did was like basically just controlled. The environment that you're in, the people that you're around, everything was completely controlled. And so yeah, you look good, but you don't really have any kind of freedom to do anything, say anything, live your life the way you want to. So that would be tough. I would definitely prefer to live in a free society where poor health is common.
Yeah, no, same for sure. And I feel like that if everything was enforced and we didn't have that personal freedom, it's like you lose a lot of the meaning behind putting, like when you go to the gym and you're putting in the work every day, like I guess I don't know the best way to articulate it, but you get a lot of meaning from that. It's like you grow a lot in that process. And like part of that process is like going through those reps every day, doing it yourself, doing it when other people aren't doing it, like being able to set yourself apart and really challenge yourself and push yourself. But I feel like if it's enforced, then it kind of loses that value. It's like, oh, it's just something I have to do. Like, oh, I don't want to do it, as opposed to deriving more of that meaning from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally agree. We get our purpose, we get our meaning through the whole process. And that's why the GLP-1 stuff that's out there, is fine. But as we get closer and closer to like that pill that you can take, that you're just healthy if you take it, I think we're gonna lose so much from that, because those that work really hard to get to a certain place in their health journey and a certain place in their life, they learn and grow so much through that process. You see it all the time. I'm gonna use a sports example. If you're an athlete, your ultimate goal is to win the championship of your sport, right? So like we have the Super Bowl coming up. You win the Super Bowl, everything is amazing. Like you're on top of the world. And they're not on top of the world the rest of their life. They're on top of the world for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, and then a new season starts. And their next goal is to win the Super Bowl again. And so when you reach that goal, if you think that you're going to be eternally happy, it's not going to happen. You get all that happiness and all that joy and all that, all like you said, you're struggling through all that. That's where you really grow, through the struggles. And so, yeah, I mean, I think you need that process to get there, and then you're never going to be completely happy. You just have to keep going through that process to get there. So, yeah, I think it's yeah, you need that middle, the whole journey. You need the journey before you get to the end to be so totally satisfied.
Yeah, the value in your fitness journey, any pursuit and any goal isn't the outcome. Like it really is the process, the path that you're taking day to day, the struggles, the ups and downs, everything. It's like the value is in the journey as opposed to the outcomes. Because I would say like an easy life is not a good life. Like we've seen what happens when we get everything handed to us. It's like we don't get any value out of it. Yeah, it's convenient, it's nice. Like it'd be convenient to have your health there, but all the value gets stripped from it and you don't get anything out of it. And humans need that meaningful work. We need something to strive for. We need that growth. And so it just creates a miserable existence if you have nothing to work towards.
Yeah, it kind of takes away a lot of the purpose that you have in life as
Hmm.
well. So I heard something. This is kind of on topic, kind of off topic, but I heard I was listening to a podcast. It was with Jay Shetty and Tony Robbins, and I'm not even sure exactly what they were talking about at the time, but Tony Robbins, he mentioned purpose, and he said, a common question I get is, I don't know my purpose in life. Like, how do I find my purpose in life? And Tony Robbins is like, well, what if you don't have one purpose? What if you have multiple purposes? And like we're all like set up, we all focus so much on there's this one thing that like, what am I meant to be in life? And what if there's so many parts of your life that you have purpose in and you just need to put your full effort into that one thing? And that's your purpose at that time, or that's your purpose in that area, or whatever it may be. And so I thought that was really good. And I think that kind of goes with going through this health journey. If you're looking for that journey, if you're enjoying the journey and looking for the purpose in the journey, and how can I help other people as well as I'm going through this, and what can I learn from this, and what can I celebrate as I go through this, as opposed to just focusing on that end goal, and I want to lose 50 pounds, whatever it may be. How about all the great things that come from the whole process?
Yeah, I love that perspective. I feel like that takes a lot of pressure off of people too. Cause yeah, they're like, oh, I need, like, what's the purpose? Like, I need to find this right thing. And then you're like, oh, I don't know what it is. Oh, like my life's up or whatever. It's like, I have no purpose. Do you, have you been able to articulate what those areas are for you? Or do you have any idea of like kind of the purpose behind how you navigate day to day or what multiple ones are in your life?
No, I just heard that the other day, and so it kind of started getting me to thinking about things, and so I was like, yeah, I really should think about it in everywhere I go. Like when I'm at the gym, what should my purpose be there? When I'm with my kids in my classroom, what should my purpose be there? With my own kids, what should my purpose be there? And just in anywhere, and of course, the base of all that would be, I want to be more like Jesus,
Hmm.
right? And operate out of that. But then everywhere I go, it'd be something a little bit different. Like the gym, I want to be someone who is very uplifting and is very excited to see people, and encouraging. And if someone asks me a question, I want to be able to answer their question and provide all this value to them, and help people to achieve their goals. With my kids in my classroom, I want to be a great role model to them. I want to be someone that they can look up to and that they learn from, and I can teach them. And so there's just I've kind of started looking at every aspect of my life. Okay, like what would be my purpose in this part of my life, as opposed to like one big, what is my purpose, God, in life?
Yeah, I like that. And I think like it's a lot simpler than most. Like it doesn't need to be some big thing either. I feel like people are like, oh, I need to have this big impact or all this influence or stuff. It's like, no, you can just honoring God with everything you do, or just being a light to the people in your life, pouring into your family, pouring into people at work. Like it can be little things like that that do make a profound difference. But it's all in the mindset of how you view it. Like if you view showing up for your family, it's like, oh, it's whatever, just what I do. Like of course you're not going to hold meaning or value in that, but it's like when you go for first, like this is my purpose, this is what I want to do, like I want to do it to the best of my ability. Like it just feels very different in how you approach it, kind of like we were talking about in the other episode with like the good work versus toil. It's like it's just all in the meaning that you put behind it.
All right, well, I had fun with that. Hopefully you enjoy that. Hopefully our audience, hopefully you guys listening, and honestly, like a lot of these questions will never ever have perfect answers because there are no perfect answers, right? It just kind of depends on where you are in life and who you are, what you've experienced, what you want to experience. So hopefully that maybe this has caused some people to reflect on some things, think about some things, or at least just enjoy a conversation. And if you have any knowledge on dreams, please send me what you think my dream meant. Or if or if you have any other comments or ideas, thoughts on what we talked about, we'd love to hear them, of course. Like I said, like we've talked about, if you enjoyed this episode, let us know. We'd love to do more fun ones like this, or whatever you guys are interested in listening to.
Yep, whatever y'all want. And yeah, as always, if you guys want help simplifying your fitness, fat loss habits in a way that actually works long term, we have a new guide, 5 steps to your next 5 pounds down. I'll link that in the show notes. Get you going on the 5 next steps to immediately take action and start seeing some progress. But yeah, we appreciate you guys hanging with us. I love a little switch up with the episode, and we'll catch you on the next one.